Muserevu yona gy'osinzidde okubeera nga togoberera nkwanirizaako Fahad Pro UG gwe omukutu gw'oli ku video teekako ekigalo osharingirako banno n'obategeeza nti kakati waliwo ekyakagwawo naddala banno gye batasobodde kubeera nga ate batuuka amawulire gabadde mangi nnyo gali mu kubeera nga tegatambulira ku mubaka Shamim Malende omubaka omukyalo wa Kampala era nga munnange okuva Shamim Malende lwe twava mu kalulu ekyamazima kiri nti abadde tana kubeera nga ate addamu okulabikako eri public era nga abasinga batandika okubeera nga tebagamba nti Shamim Malende ali mu ggwanga lya America yagenda kubeera nga ate afuna obujjanjabi oluvannyuma lwa etteeka ly'emmwanyi mwasobola okubeera nga temulaba Katembe yali mu parliament era nga y'omu ku babaka abasobola okubeera nga ate bafuna oba baloza ku kibooko za SFC kakati ne tubekyali awo akulira amawulire mu kibiina kya NUP omukulu amanyikiddwa nga Map Media awadise n'agamba nti breaking news amawulire ge tufuna batugambye mu Honorable Shamim Malende bamuwamba ali mu State House free mama Kampala kanyabo bwatyo akulira amawulire mu kibiina kya NUP omukulu amanyikiddwa nga Map Media bw'asobodde okubeera nga ate ayogera ku nsonga eno era nga agenda kubeera nga tenyongera okubatirawo obutambi awo atongera okubeera nga tetumanya biki ebiri mu kubeera nga tebitambula eri omubaka omukyala Shamim Malende eyo nowakugyeyo ndowooza ngenda kubeera nga tembatwalako ne mu parliament y'eggwanga lyettu Uganda kiri eyo kirokota ababaka bakutta wansi ne waggulu omubaka abadde omubaka wa Kira amanyikiddwa nga Samujunganda alina byasobodde okubeera nga ate ayogera nanki abasajja basabula bannange olwa kuba nti parliament yavuddeyo alina byasobodde okubeera nga tayogera naddala kuteeka eri mu kubeera nga te erikubaganyizibwako ebirowoozo ono nalituumye Bobi Wine's biiru era ngenda kubeera nga tembiwateo bena omwongera okubeera nga temumanya ebigenda mu maaso side ze shekasha musomo waddwa kunaba isimu wansi awo ziyitawo ajja kubeera nga takulombereddwa gwe wena alina ensonga ez'enjawulo ekyaga kubeera nga tezitera mulamu ajja kukolako ng'akozesa amaanyi ageddwa okuva mu Quran so katusimbule n'ensonga zino temubaawo
nga 15 Januari 2026 olunaku lwakuna luno ebula ennaku 2 teri kulanga kulala tugenda mu Uganda mpya.
This law is targeting very few individuals. And looking at the other paper now, you clarified. Yes. It means by this week or next week, the law will be passed. Aware that one of the opposition leaders now is out of the country, and government assumes that the opposition leaders who is out of the country may come back immediately and he may lobby huge amount of money. And what the government is fighting for, by the time Bobi Wine arrives to Uganda, the law should be in place. So you are targeting very few individuals, which is very wrong.
The NRM leaders are not only accused of stealing from their people, they are also accused of stealing from neighbors. One such a neighbor that has fallen victim to the NRM leaders' stealing habits is the Democratic Republic of Congo. During the 1997-98 invasion of Congo, senior NRM leaders helped themselves with Congolese women, timber, gold, and other minerals. They were also accused of recruiting and deploying Congolese children as soldiers. Congo took Uganda to the International Court of Justice, and since judges there are not cadres, Uganda lost the case, and after a lot of pleading, we were ordered to pay for our crimes. We have since 2021 been emitting billions annually. Paying Congo is part of Uganda's public debt servicing. The NRM government has included in this budget that you are passing 260.4 billion, which will be paid to DR Congo. The NRM government has included 260.4 billion in the coming financial year budget, which will be paid to DR Congo. The 260.4 billion is the last of the 5 installments. The last installment will bring the final figure to shilling 1.2 trillion. Can you imagine? Those who enjoyed Congolese women and gold are known and are there, but we are all being ordered to pay. And the Honorable Gwanga is not one of them. This money should have been paid by government officials.
So you say they are paying because they enjoy.
But you wanted names. I'm going to give you names. You are.
Please, the word enjoying women, is that parliamentary? Let's be realistic.
What do you mean? And even you're here saying, hey, is it parliamentary for you colleagues?
Honorable.
No, please, let's be realistic.
Honorable Semuju.
Yes.
Is this money paid because they enjoyed the women or what?
You see,
and you have to pay for enjoyment.
You see, Madam Speaker, the trouble is that when budget is brought here, it is brought together with 21 documents. I think the Honorable Gwanga is listening to the budget for the first time. And I want to ask him to first listen, because you will not be quarreling for every paragraph that I read. The money should have been paid by senior government officials, namely the Pradering of Congo, such as Lieutenant General Severino Kaindo Tafire and General Karebu Akandonao. General Museveni said for him the only thing he took from Congo during the period of the war was a stick. Museveni's friend Penet given another 350 billion. In next year's budget, I am explaining money they are going to spend on servicing the debt, which is 40% of our budget. In next year's budget, there is shilling 305 billion for President Museveni's dear friend Enrica Maria Aristidina Penetti. Again, for our controversial war specialized hospital project. This money is part of the 33 trillion public debt service obligation. On the list of the debt, it is listed as others. That's what the Honorable Musasizi has done. He has listed it as others. We have so far given Aristidina 916 billion, which is equivalent to 247 million US dollars. Now Pineti wants another 489 billion to complete the route. This will bring total amount spent on Pineti's project to 1.4 trillion. Remember, at the beginning of this project, Museveni handlers, including Honorable David Bahati, told Parliament that Uganda was spending about 200 billion on medical care abroad, and that an investor, Aristidina, was going to help us construct a super health facility in 48 months, which she will manage for 8 years and hand it over to Uganda. Uganda then would pay her using money budgeted for medical care abroad. That was the Pinet story. Nobody, I think, knew that Pinet debt obligation would become part of public debt. Uganda is borrowing money at high interest rate and passing it over to Pinet Aregedi to construct a hospital for us. Mind you, Pinet is not a contractor, she is not a medical person, but rather a dealer in furniture. Her overall project represents the highest level of abuse of public trust. This Parliament demanded for a value for money audit before more money is sunk in. But as usual, this was abandoned, and Pinet is smiling all the way to the bank. And in this budget, they have also allocated the Minister of Works 21.54 billion to construct roads around Ruowa Hospital, which has become a monument of corruption under Museveni. I now go to Rocco on page 7.
Before you go to Rocco, have you ever gone to, have you gone to Entebbe Airport, through the main road? Around Luboa? No, I'm just...
Yes, Madam Speaker.
Haven't you seen that hospital there?
I have seen a structure coming up, not worth 1.4 trillion.
Okay, the structure is there, the hospital is there. Yes, next.
Page 7, Rocco is included in next financial year's budget, 32.2 billion to help Rocco Construction Company meet its debt obligation. Rocco debt problems are now also part of Uganda's public debt servicing, courtesy of Mzee Museveni. Remember, in 2022, I don't have to read each and everything on this page, when these problems of Rocco came here. So in the end, we are going to be giving these proprietors of Rocco 207 billion. I now go to Ntungamo Coffee, which has taken 254 billion so far. Page 8. During financial year 20, and I can actually summarize with a table on page 9. we have invested 188.6 billion in this company, and the proprietor Tugume was seen recently in cabinet demanding for more. I go to Kira Motors.
Which cabinet? So you mean you have spies in cabinet?
Isn't cabinet part of the organs of the state?
You belong to the state. I'm happy today you appreciate you belong to the state.
We are part of the Ugandan state.
Okay.
Madam Speaker, Kira Motors, in the budget there is 200 billion that has been added to the Ministry of Science and Technology to, among others, fund the operations of Kira Motors. You have heard in the main report. Enterprises are supposed to bring their budgets here and we approve them. Kira Motor has not brought, but we are giving it money. More money. And the table summarizes so far what we have put in Kira Motors to produce those buses. I go to UDC on page 10. UDC, the NRM government has included next financial year's budget 304 billion for Uganda Development Corporation. Out of shame, Mr. Museveni no longer brings some of his friends' companies to Parliament for funding directly during the budget processing. Being a Muyekera rebel, he uses panya shortcuts. He puts the money in the National Development Corporation, which they scavenge on as soon as the budget is passed. He has now lined up.
Honorable, President Museveni is not a rebel. No, let him say it himself, but let it not come out of this house. Let's be fair to each other. Let it not come out of this house.
Yeah, but Madam Speaker,
if somebody says me I'm a rebel, that is, let it be from him, but not coming from us. Let's just have some decorum.
Madam Speaker, I take the president very seriously. When
No,
he says
that statement of rebel it should be with it on. Talk about Atiaka Sugar, it is okay. But don't say the president is a rebel.
What I will do, I will go and help him to edit his book, Sowing the Mustard Seed. From then I will no longer call him a
Because when you look, a source of your information, you have not said it is from the mustard seed.
Madam Speaker, you are making me do a lot of exercise by sitting and standing.
Actually,
can I answer the questions after I have presented?
But the one of Muyekera and Rebel should not be included in our report.
Okay. President Museveni is not a Muyekera.
He's the president of the Republic of Uganda.
I agree, Madam Speaker. He has now lined up 304 billion for UDC and Atiaka Sugar Factory. The main client of UDC will be one of the beneficiaries. In fact, Atiaka has been allocated 100 billion. We have so far invested 668 billion in this controversial Atiaka Sugar Factory, mainly through UDC. The 100 billion new allocation will bring total investment in this company to 768 billion. The proprietor, Amina, has invested 125 billion, but she has 60% shares in the company. And Uganda, that has invested more than 600, has 40 shares. The Auditor General in his latest report, December 2025, says in the last 10 years, government has through UDC invested 1.3 trillion in 22 companies. 8 of these companies are recording net losses. Another 8 companies that UDC loaned 223 billion, 238 billion, have not paid the principal nor the interest. UDC is expected to operate with a degree of independence, but it is being financed through project-specific funding. Government releases funds to UDC that are already earmarked for specific projects such as Atiaka Sugar, leaving UDC with no space to conduct proper investment appraisal according to Auditor General. The return on investment in UDC is 0.09% according to AG report. On page 11 up, just a summary of what we have put in at YAC, and then I go to presidential initiative on banana. They want 70 billion. The presidential initiative on banana is one of other controversial investments of our dear leader. It is headed by Professor Moranga. They want 70 billion for their operations next financial year. The presidential initiative on banana industrial development has become a bottomless pit, and I show the money that has gone there so far in this budget. They want 70 billion. I now go to page 12. I'll leave the table summarizing the ministers are here. Let them deny. On 17th April 2024, the Minister of Finance and Planning and Economic Development presented a supplementary, and I want to leave this just giving you how much money so far they has taken. He now wants 1.5 trillion. Right, Honorable Speaker and members, I am now going to the cost of borrowing, because I have told you some of the beneficiaries of the 33 trillion in this budget that we are going to appropriate. So you've heard the names of the beneficiaries. They are waiting for you here. On Monday they will be in the banks. Huge sums of money are allocated to luxury and also given to friends of President Museveni, as has been the practice for many years. Money gifted to the likes of Pineti should be allocated to education, agriculture, health, and roads, and we will be demonstrating later. This is Museveni's 41 budget he is presenting to the country after 41 years in power. Article 115 of the Constitution states that the President shall cause to be prepared and laid before Parliament in each financial year, but in any case, not later than the 15th day before commencement of the financial year, estimates or revenues and expenditure of government for the next financial year. This article is reproduced in Section 12 of the Public Finance Management Act. Right, Honorable Speaker and members, as I said, this is a budget number 41. President Yoweri Museveni Tibuhaburwa Kaguta has caused to be prepared. You can see, I don't know why Parliament has a habit of distorting photos, but the first one is how he looks like when he was presenting the first budget. Then the middle, after about 20 years in power. And the last one is when he's presenting the budget number 41. The 2026-27 84 is now 0.3 trillion national budget. The NRM government has proposed for next financial year 84.391 total annual budget. And I summarize it here. The first table on the left is where the money will come from, and then the table on the right is what the money will do. You can see the table on the right, debt servicing is going to consume 40% of the budget. Then wages and salaries will consume about 14 trillion. And then you have other staff expenses, about 8 trillion. Classified expenditure, 2.6. What remains is just 25. Allocated to debt servicing, as I have said in the table, is 33.6 trillion, which is 40% of the budget. The proposed salary increment of about 1.2 trillion to various servants, public servants, including teachers and other entitlements, will raise country's wage bill from 8.5 trillion to about 9.7. The wage bill and other allowances have hit 14.1 trillion, representing 16.7% of total budget. Public servants are just about 400,000, but in this budget they have 14 trillion to themselves. There are also other direct expenses by public servants, such as vehicle fuel, special meals and newspapers, which will cost another 8.
Abalungi abatuuliriza era abatulaba olunaku olwaleero tukyaddeko ewa Sheikh Ashraf Dembe.
Sebo sanyusa okubalaba amannya agange nze Sheikh Ashraf Dembe akola ku bizibu by'enjawulo. Omuntu singa aba alina ebirwadde musomereddwa tumuwa amazzi ga lukuya nga bw'obadde ogalaba tugenda abantu ku kyoto ne twokya emizimu emibi egibabaamu n'okulomba edduwa. Abantu singa abeera ng'ali wano atuuse sobola okumulombera edduwa ne waba atatuuse nga mpadde amannya ge naye ng'ali wala. Neetaase ennamba yange yeeno eri 07 01 76 37 11. Nammwe bannyinaffe abali ebweru oyagala okuba nti oyagala okulombera ku dduwa ng'olina ebizibu viza zibuze amaka gakolongotana sente zikola zimpita mu ngalo ojja kumpeereza ekifaananyi kyo n'amannya go ebyo byokka bijja kummala nja kukulombera edduwa ojja kutereera. Olunaku olusembayo mu mwezi mba n'edduwa ey'awamu ffenna n'abalwadde bange abakadde n'abapya. Salaamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.